just like whisper ahead. Mr. Damien, be careful, because she did say there might be traps.
That is a very good point.
I check for traps.
Thank you, Alex.
Roll investigation.
I stealthily check for traps. Where's
Where do you check for traps?
Is it? I want to ask: is it a ladder that leads to the cellar, or is it a staircase that leads to the cellar?
It's a staircase.
Okay.
While
Jump in.
While he's checking for traps, can I look at the walls and just tap on them to see if any of them have something if any of them are hollow?
Yeah, roll investigation.
So we're in this tower, we're at the bottom floor of it. Is there a staircase that leads up, or is the staircase ruined?
There are platforms throughout the tower scattered around it, but you imagine that whatever ladder may have been there to support going up, time has eroded.
So they're is it gone entirely, or are there
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna try to jump up on my fucking ninja style to see if I can get to the top. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, go for it. Acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
They're the same. All right, I'll take a start.
Tasty.
All right, so Damien died. Actually, no, I have slow fall, so it doesn't matter how high up I am.
You jump. You reach the first platform. You're about 5 feet up. You jump again, and you grab onto the ledge, but the wood that is still there is so decayed and rotted that it just snaps clean in half, and you fall about 10 feet. Land on your ass. Land softly on your ass.
Good save.
This tower is not structurally stable.
To say the least.
I mean, yes, it's a pre-cataclysm building from the earliest Citrian.
And yet it still stands. One wonders. Did you find any traps?
Yeah, I'm mostly looking around towards the secret area, being is there something set up after a few steps down the staircase, something closes it off, or something explodes or some shit.
Go ahead, roll investigation.
Do we find anything with the 16 investigation?
No, it's pretty solid stone.
Advantage. Okay, so here's the thing. I have a feat that's called Dungeon Delver. I didn't punch it into my sheet because I forgot about it. It says you have advantage on advantages on perception and investigation checks made to detect the presence of secret doors. I'm assuming that doesn't apply to this, does it?
We see the door. It's right there.
The lack of a door, actually.
The doorway.
Make a straight investigation roll.
Sure, I can do that. Oop.
What?
Sorry, don't mean to make it complicated. Ah, fuck me.
It seems perfectly clear.
I look back. Dear Damien, if you wanted to, get to someplace higher or lower, I could help you with that instead of jumping and breaking things.
I really wanted a vantage point. There are gangs around here, so they might be using some lights. Something to avoid. Or to go towards. They might have information. And me and mine are quite capable at extracting secrets.
Fair enough. Just
As we're talking, while he's talking, I make a minor illusion appear on their face, where their eyebrows make weird shapes and light up while they're talking.
I see this on the already talking otter, and I'm not fazed by it.
No, the other one, Damien. On Damien's face, the otter sees it. It's just
I'm gonna
very.
continue because I don't see it, so I'm just gonna keep talking.
I'm just gonna just say it.
why?
Alex, how do the traps look? Or the lack thereof, hopefully.
They seem fine for now. Unless you keep jumping onto rotten floorboards.
And is this? Can we tell how far it is down?
Yeah,
It's not far. You can see the floor from where you're standing. It seems to be a hard pack, like an earth cellar.
Earth and cellar, gotcha. I descend.
It is very dark.
I turn on my goggles.
It's fine. I put dancing lights all around us.
I still turn on my goggles of night vision.
As you do, you notice that there are racks upon racks of
Ribs.
broken glass bottles.
I go over. Do they look like wine bottles or
They
like,
do.
I check the ground to see if like it's damp, to see if like they broke recently and the wine spilled everywhere.
It is not.
Okay.
It would be a safe assumption to assume that whatever wine bottles were here have probably been absconded with.
Gotcha.
You also notice that there is a rather obvious, now that you can see it, hole in the ground further in. It's about the size of a barrel.
Gotcha.
Is it safer down there?
It is safe. Nothing has attacked me yet. And there is a hole in the ground.
How big would that hole be?
About the size of a
What's
barrel.
that?
The opening of the hole is about the size of a barrel, the diameter.
Pirate shape. Pirate barrel.
If
I
you would
go over to the
just-
edge and lean in to look into it. How deep is it?
It goes about 15 feet down. There is a
Okay.
ladder in the hole.
I found our access to the underground.
Oh, well, that's some great news. If you would give me a moment,
Your
You know-
mastiff is also sitting there wagging its tail.
that is a good artificial creature. Yes, you will. If you would
Are we
just,
not- Sorry.
just gonna start grabbing some bells and some string and unwrapping it. I'm just going to, set up a contingency in case some of those unscrupulous individuals outside attempt to pursue us.
Yes, very smart. Are we allowed to
Definitely.
pet your animal?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. I don't know how to respond to it.
I try and pet your dog.
Say, and he air quotes, mastiff, if you will. But it's more of an artificial creature, really.
Understood?
While he is setting up the alarm, I jump down the hole.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something you would notice, but the dogs don't have any like genitals.
Reproductive organs.
They are
No, they don't.
artificial.
Do you
How
jump
many?
or do you slide down the ladder?
I slide down the ladder.
I mean, I'm slow fall, so I could just.
You can just bail.
Yeah, I
Alright.
just Superman drop down into it.
All right, fair. The ladder takes you down, or the slow fall takes you down, into what seems to be a collapsed tunnel.
In the first room, could I just like again tap the walls just to see if like any of them are hollow?
Go ahead, make an investigation check. Hard packed earth,
Good.
except underneath you.
Tunnel.
There you go.
So since it's a tunnel, I'm assuming it's like a left and a right path, and we're just sort of in the middle.
Yes, you're in a pipe essentially with collapsed ends.
Collapsed ends.
Yes, a closed cylinder, like a flute.
So we can go neither right nor wrong. Sorry, right or left. What am I saying?
Both ends of the tunnel, from what you can see when you go down the ladder, are collapsed.
Quick is the path, and just as quick does it leave us.
Possibly.
It's time for my magical girl transformation.
What?
I turn around and I spin, and then I make lights appear, and like basically I'm Sailor Moon, and then I stop, and I have giant fucking arms. Okay, gauntlets. I have giant fucking hands. I have fists the size of your head. I will punch through these walls.
Do not punch through it just yet. We are still in the tunnel, and I do not know if it is structurally stable, especially with a tower on top of us.
Yes,
I can
I'm
almost
finishing my
guarantee it's
spell.
not.
Just finishing up my spell. Are y'all punching things down there? That might not be good. I don't know if the structural stability is going to last.
We're not punching anything.
Also, is it safe?
It is safe, and we might need your expertise down here,
Alright,
Professor.
I grabbed one of those bottles that were up there and jumped. Well, slowly climbed down very methodically.
Do you know if either of these sides were closed recently?
I was attempting to get to that point. Can I see if there's like... It would be too easy if there was just footfall, but if there's like stones set in a way that's like it's secretly supposed to be moved that you can pass through.
Where do you look?
I would start with the right and then do a similar check on the left.
Okay, on the right-hand side where the ladder is, you notice that there is a crate.
I check the crate for traps.
It is not trapped.
All right,
Well,
pop the
he
lid.
checked. I was gonna punch through the lid.
I said it first. I have a crowbar.
You find what appears to be ceramic jars. And as you lift one of them up, there seems to be some sort of liquid inside.
How many jars are there?
5. They're about the size of a melon, a small melon.
Ooh, those are urns. I lift one up and it does have a lid. Right?
It's a waxy kind of seal with a string tied very tightly.
I'll give you 5 gold to drink it.
I would not do that, please.
I would like to inquire as to what it is first.
Oh, well,
The easiest way is to drink it.
probably tell you that.
I present one of the urns. I say it in front of Fizzle.
Oh,
Wait,
There's
why
a-
is your hand so big now?
I can now punch through things.
please don't punch things. We're basically inside a grave.
Well, that would be very...
Do you
I'm
want me
sure.
to do
Fizzle, what languages do you read, speak?
All of them. With time.
Give me 5 minutes or 10
Being
minutes.
comprehend language then.
By default.
Common, Gnomish, Elvish, and Otter.
Is that
Okay.
actually-
There is a symbol on the urn that you think either means flammable or alcohol.
I mean, relatively similar.
Ethanol's involved. See, you can drink it. You should drink it.
You're not entirely sure because the symbol does not seem to be a Sidrian dynasty. It seems to be older.
Okay, well, if y'all want to work on clearing that over there, I can work on this.
Let us find which pathway to go down.
Oh,
I'd rather
yeah,
not go the wrong direction.
that'd be a good idea. And I reach into my pack and hand bottle of acid. You know, in case need to. It's very good for dissolving things.
Are there any footprints on the floor that would indicate someone was here recently?
There are.
Which direction did they go?
They go to the other end of the tunnel from where you're currently standing, near the ladder.
And then here?
Pardon,
So they go
Verona, what
left?
did you say? Yes, left.
And then they disappear?
Do you follow them?
Yeah.
They go toward about 2/3 of the tunnel, and then they take a right. And in the wall, you couldn't see it from the ladder, there is a hole about the size, a gnome-sized hole. You could stand in it upright, but it would take a bit of crawling for someone bigger than you.
Okay, wait. I will make a sign appear next to it with like arrows pointing towards it, just like, lighting up. Like, here we go, guys, over there. I found the hole.
But where does it lead?
There is a rope tied to the end of the of the wall structure, going down into the hole. It's a vertical drop.
Oh, the hole that leads down. I thought like a hole like in the wall.
I also thought so, but then my arrows are pointing down. I slide down the rope.
All right, you do that.
Whee! And I don't get rope burn because I have gauntlets.
Yeah.
How far
It's
down
about-
does it go?
20 feet down. It's pitch dark.
We're
I have
descending
Yeah.
deeper and deeper.
Down you go, and I slap Damien on the back.
You first.
So the problem is I can't entirely see.
Can we see anything with the lights on?
How deep does it look like it's going down?
My goggles will not help you, Rogue. They only help me. And I descend.
Oh,
He said 20
Fred.
feet.
20
20
feet.
feet? Okay. I pull a 24-foot ladder out of my
Oh my
bag.
fucking god.
It's a little tall.
Fred, do I see anything with the lights on?
Yes, you do. You see a curving corridor, and there are skeletal remains and masonry tools on the floor.
A what? Tool?
Masonry tools. Tools used to create stone buildings and the like.
Stone blocks.
Huh.
I jump down.
All right, Damien jumps down. Alex, are you jumping down?
I wait for the otter to set up the ladder, and then I slide down the ladder and light my
Okay.
flame tongue
Well,
dagger
there's
so
a
I can see.
rope.
Yeah, but the sliding down the ladder is more fun.
Alright, nerd.
All right. With the
Great.
group of you down there.
How
you
many
know
bottles were there by the
There are five.
Five.
Okay.
Correct.
I put them in my bag of holding.
Understood.
It's like pointing
And,
to the
before I go down,
barrels.
is there anything on the walls here?
No, these walls are plain worked stone. It's a curving corridor, and there are skeletal remains scattered throughout it, mixed with masonry tools.
Can I tell how old the remains are?
Medicine or investigation, your pick.
I better medicine.
Whack.
It's
Nope.
they appear to be dead. I do not.
Yeah,
Perhaps
so
they can be revived. I say holding a skeleton like Hamlet.
I'll give you this. Since there's no meat on them at all, probably old.
yeah, I mean,
Just
I
don't know
could
how old.
probably figure that out.
Anything from several months to several years.
I'm doing like a thinker's pose, like my fist underneath my chin. I'm holding a skull out like Hamlet. They appear to be dead, and for a while now.
Hey, can I
That is all I can get from this. I put the skull back down.
can I attempt to find out?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. You go down there, pull out a couple instruments, little vials of chemical. But see what I see.
These are not just old, they're old. Very old.
Early Sidrian.
Probably older.
They're not this. They're this.
Yes.
A ball.
The bones themselves, you notice as you experiment with a little acid, they're more like stone at this point than bone.
That's fascinating. These are much older.
What's that, Dragona?
Can I take 2 of those stone bones and start playing the drums?
Yes,
Not
you can.
a wise idea.
That probably gonna break.
I will
Without
do that.
like calcium, flow. Oh, never mind. Too late.
I am proficient in drums. Literally the only
But these
instrument.
bones are older than all of us put together.
Literally the only thing I'm proficient in is drums.
I'll give
You
you
put
this.
on quite a performance, and it echoes through the hallways.
I was about to. I immediately grab Kindle's arm. I would not suggest doing that. I let go.
It's probably not the best idea, but it did sound very good.
I keep an
Thank
ear out
you.
to see if something down the tunnel might come at us.
All right,
Listening
roll
for
a
steps.
perception check.
Perception. Hey, inverse time. Let's go. 0 to 0.
The
Hercules.
percussive beats echo against the stone wall, and they produce quite the echo, since there is nothing to obstruct the sound.
Yeah.
But you are able to use this to your advantage, and you try to listen for any sort of obstruction in the sound waves, and there appears to be nothing.
You're welcome.
You'll know that. I was the only one listening.
I did this.
There
on
is a slight variation in the way the sound reverberates to your left.
To my left.
Yes.
There's only 2 paths out of here, right? Or two
Yeah,
circles?
imagine you're standing in a half circle.
Right, gotcha.
I know it's disrespectful, but I will take the bones with me.
All right, you could add simple club/bone to your inventory.
Yeah, would I know?
How many are there that I can use? I imagine 2.
There's 10 bodies, so take your pick.
10? I want like 6, so I have spare.
Add
Before
6
you go-
femurs.
Before you go tampering with the dead and giving away our location, perhaps we can see what exactly it is that killed them. They had the tunnel up. It was not lack of breath. So what killed them?
Can I see
where are the
like
footprints?
see any marks on the bone where it might indicate that through the cage or?
Could I
Medicine
assist
or
that?
investigation?
Could I assist
You
that?
sure?
Being someone with
Yes, with
experience
it.
in
So, a roll either medicine or investigation with advantage. One of you.
he takes 6 point.
Looking at the bones, other than Kindle's drumming, there does not seem to be any sort of trauma on them.
They
So-
were probably poisoned.
By what?
Or who?
Yeah, would I know what was pre-Isidrian? Was
That
the
would be
first cataclysm?
that would be late Taraj.
Yeah, it would indicate that.
Names.
How long?
Gosh.
The Sidran dynasty is 400 years old. There's a 200-year gap where people are not entirely sure what happened. And so, at the very minimum that you're aware of, 600 years or older.
Where do the footprints go that we found upstairs?
There are no footprints down here.
Really? Wait.
Looking up at the ladder and the rope, you realize that without either ladder or rope, it'd probably a very challenging task to reach that hole.
Oh, good point. I can go grab my ladder and put it back in my bag.
But the footprints went here, and where did they go afterwards?
They
There
vanish.
aren't any.
There aren't any.
Been upstairs, okay. Where the rope leads down, so where the rope came down, below that ground, when I knock on it, is it hollow or?
It is not hollow.
Is the rope like semi-recent? Like it was like here in the past few months? or
Not
years?
600 years old.
Yeah.
You can smell the tar on it still. It's pretty fresh.
Okay. So this could have potentially been some kind of holding cell. Or a pit for
They have
fun.
masonry equipment, I doubt such, unless they were slaves.
Don't
Which would
doubt
explain a
that.
lot.
I mean, part of the job of the Reclaimer is just to go and find the artifacts and relics. Sell
Yes,
them.
but the
or
way
use them.
We're wasting time. People's lives are at stake. Which way do we go? It sounds off to the left, but that might be a reason not to go down it.
Let's approach the side of caution. Go right.
Jump on the back of one of my dogs, take one of the bottles, and begin identifying
Which bottle is this?
the 5 we found. That
Gotcha.
may be alcohol.
Flammable alcohol.
Flammable.
I mean, most
Alright.
alcohol is flammable, so.
You're
Yeah,
casting
it's
Identify, you said, as a ritual?
Yes.
Noted.
Point.
It's a
what did the
file
rest of you do?
Madonna type of thing.
Yes.
We're walking down the right path. I would just light it up with dancing lights while we're walking.
I mean,
And
All right.
I take
Um,
point by a lead of about 40 feet then.
stealthy.
And I try to stealth.
you go. All right, go ahead. Roll your stealth checks.
Eee.
Yeah, if I'm being honest,
You
well,
feel pretty confident in your ability to sneak.
Haha, nerd.
I also feel confident. Whether that is true or not is debatable.
I'm specifically like hugging the wall and using the light behind me, so I look like part of the
Noted.
cave wall. And I have my blade drawn.
Yeah, I'm just doing a bunch of experience, so I don't think there's a way to be stealthy about that.
Fair enough. You progress toward the right, each of you in a different manner.
Hmm.
And as you progress, you notice that there is a curvature to the corridor, and you begin suspecting that this may not be a semicircle, this might be a full circle.
Do we eventually just come across the bodies again?
Oh, there are bodies throughout this thing. Yeah, they're everywhere.
while we're walking, I would like to always knock on a wall to my right and just like see if it's hollow anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
doing
left,
that
Yeah.
on the left instead. Okay.
No, wait, depending
Um,
on in which direction the circle goes, because I don't know how the curvature goes. Does it go to the right or to the left?
You went to the right, so it curves clockwise.
Okay, then yeah, I would start with the right and
All right.
yes.
You make your way forward, and similarly to what you found in the cellar, eventually you come to a point where you've almost gone the full lap, and there is a knocked down door in quotation marks where you could see that it was at one point walled up with bricks that have been knocked in. And here
Someone
you do
would
see,
say,
and here you do see footprints going down because of the fresh dust from the bricks that were knocked in. Also, Fizzle, your dog is very excited. He seems to have caught the scent again.
Huh. Well, we might be getting closer. Perhaps. Is that what you're saying? And just look on its head.
It wags its tail more faster.
Fervently.
Fervently. Eagerly.
That's the word, eagerly.
How big is this doorway?
You could probably go through it 2 by 2
I peek in.
without bending your heads.
I still peek in.
It appears to be a spiraling staircase going downward.
well then. Shall I take the lead?
If you wish.
Might be beneficial to check to make sure nothing's going to
Trap us.
yeah.
Would be wise. Alex, would you be of service?
I suppose. And he's going to check for
If you want, you could stay here and we can progress without you.
Go ahead.
Leave you alone in the dark.
He just has like a stupid smile on his face. This is fun. Damn it!
Seems pretty clear to you.
It's fine.
Okay then. Should I take the lead?
Go right ahead.
All right. Kindle, taking the lead, begins descending the staircase.
I still
And in
knock
a spiral,
by the way.
yes, you knock on the wall, checking for hollows, yeah? Mm-hmm. Noted. You walk around in a spiraling circle, down, down, down you go. You walk for about a good 2 minutes when you finally hit a set of opened stone doors leading into, since you've got lights with you, from what you can see, a big chamber.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. Could I have been leaving like marks in the wall pointing back to
Oh,
the
it's,
beginning?
yes, of course.
Okay. Sorry, I meant to say that, but
Nah.
like talking.
Yeah, I'll give that to you. No sweat.
Fred is a kind GM. I would have fucking said no to you.
Yeah, I know.
He's a kind god.
Alex, roll me a perception check real quick.
Sure.
How big is the chamber that we're looking into?
Bigger than what you have light for.
Good lord.
That's pretty big then. 'Cause I
9, noted. Carrying on.
Noted. Goodbye.
Yeah,
So wait, in this chamber, I
Let
would
me
like.
just.
Sorry,
So,
first.
Let me
so this
describe
is what
it.
you see when you step into the chamber.
I wouldn't step into it.
Okay, so when you stand by the door, yes?
Mhm.
Do you send in your lights?
Mm-hmm.
Sending your lights in, you notice that there are 3 columns keeping this structure intact. 3 supporting columns.
Do
And
not punch those.
between these 3 columns, there are 5 pedestals. Atop each pedestal, there is a stone chest.
Do not touch those.
You
Not
know, the
yet.
first thing that came to mind was put the alcohol in it.
This is very much
That
a puzzle
would be
trap.
wise. But it might also ignite them as a trap.
May I
Draw
just
attention.
Let us
Yes,
look around
but-
the room first. And by that, I mean let the GM finish describing the place.
Carry on.
I would just like to take the bones for a second and make 2 or 3 bumps to the ground just to make a hollow sound through the chamber.
Could you please stop making
Like
so much
a-
noise?
Like a knock, clunk, clunk, clunk.
Yeah, because here's my thing. I think it's better to know if there is someone out there trying to kill us than walking in and they like, just like being there all of a sudden and we're like all around the place.
You are certainly free to do so if that's your wish.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do so, and there is a slight echo throughout the chamber.
I
It
catch
sounds
Kindle's hand again.
large.
What did I say earlier?
What if something is in here? I would like to know.
If something walks into my home like a burglar, wouldn't I just wait in my room for them to step into it? We're not on our home turf, we're on theirs. They know every nook and cranny here. What do we know? That it echoes? That there are columns?
That they know where we are.
If this is my home, I could stay here all day. It is my home after all.
Precisely.
People outside, outsiders, they have to step in. And we have a time limit. And I'm not going to put my friend's, my sister's life on this. I let go.
Noted. Sorry.
Do not be sorry. Just do not do it again. So, now that we've revealed our location multiple times now, I step in.
As you step in, you notice something you couldn't see from where you were standing. Looking around you,
A trap.
no.
Thank
The walls seem to be covered in mosaics, murals depicting different things.
Professor, your expertise might be required.
Could
yes.
you
Let
repeat
me,
that? The water boiler is making a lot of noise. Sorry.
Yeah, noted.
I say, Professor, your expertise may be needed.
yes, of course. Let me finish with this bottle, and I'll write on it.
He casts
I go over to one of
identify.
the mosaics.
All right, waiting a few minutes for the identify to kick through. If you could hit that spell for me real quick. It is not magical per se, though there is a touch of magic to it in the seal. But you do ascertain that the contents of this jug essentially is peach wine. Very old peach wine.
Beach wine. Yeah, that sounds dope. I want that in real life.
Honestly, I would be down.
It's interesting. Is that common in any specific area? I guess where do peaches even grow?
See, here's the thing. You wouldn't necessarily know that where they are common, but what do you do with the information?
I mean, not knowing where they're from tells me something as well.
Mm-hmm. You would know that the peaches are not domestic to the Empire.
Interesting.
Would I be able to make an approximation of how much of those could sell for?
If Thistle tells you what they are.
That is a good point.
Explain what I know. These are peach wine. Rather old too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really native to the Empire, which makes me wonder.
Exotic imports.
Perhaps in the Tehran Empire?
Ancient exotic imports.
Damon, you would know that peach blossom wine has been a time-honored tradition amongst the monasteries for millennia.
I don't say anything.
I am from outside of the Empire. Would I know of peaches?
That depends on where from outside.
Yeah, I haven't figured that one out yet. Is there anything Italian-like?
Unfortunately, no. Actually, now that you mention it, yes, there is. Now that I think about it, Amara, which is a to the far east, there is a different cluster of civilization where it's more Eurocentric inspired. So you could be from there.
Hell yeah.
They do not have peaches there.
Then I don't know what these balls are.
Peach wine.
About the size, approximate age, location.
I come back over. May I examine that, Professor?
Of course. And I go look at the.
I look at all the symbols on the urn. Do I recognize something
You
on
do.
them? Can I actually read it?
No, you can't.
Fuck.
But you are familiar with the symbols.
Yes. How old do these urns look? Actually, that's a good question. How old are they?
With the information in mind that Thistle said that there was some sort of magic to the seal, they are probably older than they look.
So it's not like someone just stuffed them down there last
No.
week.
No. They've probably been there for a long time.
The box is in the middle of the room.
The stone
Just-
tests,
or-
yes.
Yes.
They're
made of stone.
Before we get to that, Thistle said you were looking at the murals.
Yeah. They said it's in the walls. On the wall.
Yeah,
On the
looking at the
walls.
murals of these walls. They depict different scenes. It begins with a group of people surrounding what looks to be a very large drake. And the next mural over, the same people performing some sort of ritual. Another mural shows the world on fire. And the one after that shows people fleeing into caves. a story told in stills, essentially.
And there's 4 of them, 5 pillars.
There are
There's
3
three
pillars,
Oh,
and there are 5 chests.
3 pillars, 5 chests that are on. Are the chests just on the ground? Because I thought
The chests
pedestals.
are on raised pedestals.
Okay. 3 pillars, 5 pedestals, 5 chests, 4 murals. And is there any like other door here?
There is not.
And how tall is the building? How tall is the roof?
You could probably stand 3 Damiens on top of each other, and then they would reach the floor.
I've always wanted to be used as a form of measurement. My dream has come true.
Congratulations.
Okay. I tell my mastiffs to go watch the door. I ponder this.
My
And
friends, I
scurry
have
over.
good news and I have bad news. The good news is I have been self-informed myself about these, and I hold up the jar. The bad news is they may or may not be highly sought after and potentially killed for over.
So what I'm hearing is expensive.
They are quite expensive. But they also might need to stay here. And I look at the stone chest.
Yes, a 5 for 5, but it would,
Alex had like a big smile at the expensive part, and now it slowly deteriorates as you gesture towards the chests.
Kindle,
Seems
you
too
said earlier
straightforward,
that you were looking at the chests. Yes.
because I'm 90% sure it's an adventure puzzle.
Looking at the chests, there are different iconography carved into the stone tablet that's essentially functions as the lid. And looking at the pillars, these pillars also have different types of iconography.
Professor, can you read those?
Yes, if you give me a moment, I can surely.
Of course.
Looking at the pillar, Kindle, even you can see that the pillar closest to the door on the left, going into the room, has a snake wrapped around it.
Can I
The
touch
pillar, yes, you can. It's cold stone.
Okay.
For now.
The pillar to
Do
the
all of the pillars or just that pillar?
pardon.
Do all of the pillars or just that pillar?
That pillar has a snake on it,
What are the other ones?
around it, like a coiling snake around it.
That's not
The pillar furthest in, like if you imagine that the pillars are a triangle, the crown of the triangle, that pillar has a panther sitting at the base of it. And the pillar to the right has a hyena sitting in a fire pit.
A what?
A hyena.
A hyena. In a fire pit? It's sitting in the fire pit? Or
It's
a fire
sitting
pit?
in, like, imagine someone put a campfire and then inside that campfire is a hyena.
Gotcha. Is there a fire in the image?
Yes.
Okay. Just go around.
It's all a carved image, so it's not an actual fire pit.
Yeah, I figured, but I was just wondering. Coiling snake, lurking panther, and fire hyena. This is a very strange room.
The pedestals are arranged in a circle inside of this triangle.
Does it seem like the ground
inside.
between the pedestals has been touched in any way, or?
No.
Is there anything on the pedestals with the chest or anything on the chest?
Looking at the chests, let's see. Let's use the clock here. So in terms of a clock, there are 5. Whereabouts would you check first?
Could just draw as well.
That's a good option.
Let's see. Okay, where's the tool?
Top
Draw
left.
shape.
I don't think draw shape would do a triangle. It only does squares and circles.
Okay. Let's
I mean, you can use it for the circle.